growth is through a series of detours for you to finally get the right step or space. And as an entrepreneur, reinventing yourself is very critical for you to be relevant into the market, for you to take advantage of opportunities that are coming into the market. So do not get comfortable in being the space that where you started off. So think of new products that you can bring into the market. Think of also new businesses that you can bring into the market based on your networks that you've built, the feedback you receive from the market, and that's very important because the market feedback really guides you in terms of what products that the market yearns. And for you as a business, of course, reinventing, as I've mentioned, is very critical for you to become relevant and for you, of course, to continue offering the 10x value that I've discussed earlier. And I think I look at where we started off in the cybersecurity business many years back. Very few players, we almost knew each other. But now the market, of course, has attracted more players. Of course, that also says there's an opportunity. But also that also tells me as an entrepreneur, we need also to reinvent ourselves for us to continue becoming competitive. In addition to that, we also need to position ourselves because now, of course, the player has to be people. In terms of telcos are also in that space. Multinationals have also coming into that space. I keep saying that guys who are selling printers are now also in the cybersecurity business. So how do we position ourselves from all these players who've coming into the market? And given that all of us are going probably to the same customers. So positioning becomes very critical. Otherwise, you'll be left fighting on price wars, which I've mentioned earlier is not a space you want to be at. So reinventing yourself as the entrepreneur, as well as also reinventing the business itself. And now here you bring in new products based on the feedback you're receiving from the market, as well as also technology. We're now in the era of AI. How do you enhance what you offer through AI, or how do you build new businesses based on AI or integrated with AI, whichever way you look at it. And coming to think of that, I attended GITEX Europe and I met some interesting business. These guys have just taken a simple security monitoring solution, introduced an AI agent, and they have a thriving business. In fact, I saw the other day on LinkedIn, now they are even opening up a branch in the US, sorry. They are based in Europe. See, somebody looked at something very small in the market, seen the opportunity, and now they want to extend and offer a new product based on the changes in technology. Again, also, I look at the African market. There are a lot of players who are offering solutions in terms of funds transfer between one currency to the other. I happen to be involved in a business that has an interesting new model of doing the transfers. So B-Pesa is transferring from fiat to stablecoin. So typically today, if I am in Kenya, I want to send money to somebody in Rwanda, for example, I have Kenya shillings. I'll have either to use platforms that either I have to send it through USD. Remember the FX rate there, the foreign exchange rate. I'll make a loss. The other party on the other side will also have to convert to local currency. So this platform brings in a very interesting idea where I'm able to shoot in my Kenya shillings, or CKS as I call it in Web3, make my transfer to the other party. The other party can receive it as a stablecoin, and of course now they can go withdraw the funds, using whichever local currency. And those are now ideas we start saying of the entrepreneur of how you reinvent yourself. And also looking at new products as well as new markets. I keep saying that, and more so especially in Africa, I think we have an opportunity for us to offer products across the continent. Of course, there are challenges here and there in terms of how do you penetrate those markets. But if you're able to offer a product in Kenya, I'm sure somebody needs similar products, services in Sierra Leone, for example, or Angola for that matter. So how do you build, or how do you venture those markets? Again, partnerships. You may want to go into a partnership with people who are already existing in that market. Of course, that has some leverage because you have the advantage. They understand the market. They have understanding of the ecosystem, so it's easier for you to penetrate. Or you could decide, go greenfield, set up afresh. Again, there are also challenges on that. So, and again, don't also just think of Africa. The world is too small today. If today we can offer these services in Africa, we can also offer them in Australia or in the US. So also think global. Always think of how can this business, don't think too local, think of how can we grow for this business to offer products globally. And that's said and done. So continue clocking those hours and see you next time.